I want to say one thing about what Ms. Pletka said, a very interesting comment. I kind of had to make sure that I was hearing it right, which is I think that you characterized multilateralism as turning inward, because you said that if we were to stop being unilateral and acting on our own, that would be turning inward. I have never heard such a warped,
I have never heard my words corrupted quite so dishonestly.
Well, what was turning inward?
The United States risks turning inwards because we are preoccupied with an economic crisis. If that is not something apparent to you from the current rhetoric of the Democratic Party, perhaps you've been hanging out in Qatar for too long. I hate to tell you, but multilateralism is extraordinarily important. On the other hand, suggesting...
That's what I wanted to find out.
Oh, that's fine. You shove it all onto our allies and see what...
That's what I was saying. So shoving it all onto our allies, this is a demonization of multilateralism, of alliances.
Again, multilateralism is a tool. It is not a goal.
Conduct that we've seen that has gotten us nowhere.
Multilateralism is a tool, not a goal.
Can we not talk together? Hafez, you wanted to make a point.
What's wrong with turning inward? If you have 45 million Americans without health insurance, would you care more about them or go to Georgia in order to support them?
If
you have people without good education, what's wrong with taking care of your own people before you try to impose your will on the rest of the people?
Ask the audience.
Danielle,
Hafez,
have your say.
Ask the audience if the United States steps back. Would you all like to be in a region under Iranian domination? If that's the case, then there's nothing wrong. Let me finish. Then there's nothing.
To go back, they will welcome that.
Excuse me, I let you finish. Please allow me. I mean, I am the only woman here. After all, I deserve a small amount of courtesy. Please. That's what turning inward means. Turning inward means ignoring the legitimate concerns that people have about Iranian hegemony.
You presented two questions, not one. The first one is right. They were going to say, yes, we would welcome if the U.S. armies and troops get out of our land and our countries. But would they welcome Iranian? No, they are not going to welcome anybody.
I'm going to go to a gentleman in the second row. You, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm Al-Qassab of Doha. I'm Iraqi. I just want to take the Iranian segment of what you both teams had been presented to us. Actually, I would just bluntly ask, who opened the door to Iran to meddle and intervene in the Iraqi affairs? You Americans, I mean the GOP, the Republicans, kept yourself busy with superficial activities for 2 years, and the gates of the border between Iraq and Iran were opened. There was something wrong or deliberately done on the part of the Americans that gave the Iranians the chance to come and intervene in the Iraqi
Saad,
affairs. Thank you.
I agree with you. I said exactly almost the same thing to President Bush when I met him last January in the White House with 5 other Arabs before he came to the region and did his tour. And I said exactly the same thing, that this policy had actually strengthened Iran. Now, in politics, you deal with realities, realpolitik. What's happening now? Iranian influence is very strong in Iraq. What are you going to do about it? Obama says he's going to give them a blank check for whatever they want to do, whereas McCain says no, there are Security Council resolutions that Iran must abide by, and Iran must stop its intervention in Iraq and in other parts of the region, which we want Iran to exercise, but Obama didn't. And therefore, I think that McCain's agenda is compatible with mine. It's in agreement with mine rather than the other way around. I agree with you. What they did was a mess.
Well, I mean, I wasn't fortunate enough to meet George Bush as president.
I met Obama too. I'll meet Obama too.
However, I met Bush before he got into politics in 1988. But anyway, John McCain is the one who said he was willing to spend 100 years in Iraq if needed. So I don't think that John McCain and what he would like to prescribe for the area is good. John McCain would like to get into another war with Iran. He has unfinished business. John McCain would like to be a commander-in-chief of a war.
All right,
and it's going to be Iran if he gets into office.
Okay, it's just irrelevant.
Okay, we're going to move to a question in the front row.
Jassim Al-Thani from Qatar. Okay, very recently, a politics of hate was created in the United States by John McCain against Senator Barack Obama. where millions of people rioted against Senator Barack Obama, claiming that he's a terrorist. And
You're blaming McCain's camp for creating politics of hate, are you?
yes.
Okay, let Danielle Pletka answer that.
Well, I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Maybe Michael does.
Sure. I thought that it was a reprehensible and shocking episode in American politics that unfortunately does have precedent in Republican attack, tear down. The sanctioning of the labeling of Barack Obama as somebody who has terrorist sympathies, which was the McCain campaign opened the door.
You're talking about Sarah Palin's
labeling that he has connections. There's a 1960s radical who he sat on a board
with. That Obama
with,
was palling around with terrorists.
He was palling around with terrorists. That they were imputing some kind of connection between him and sympathies with terrorist groups, and then that was being conjoined with this whisper campaign that he was somehow a Muslim, which shouldn't even in its own right be wrong. And this was sanctioned by the GOP.
Michael Sigler, let Danielle Pletka.
Well, I guess having gone to school and gotten a degree, I thought I had risen out of the gutter, but apparently I haven't. I really don't.
Well, neither has your candidate.
I don't agree with you. I don't think you're right. I think that John McCain has not only been honorable in how he's dealt with this, but that he has called people on, and there are certainly elements in American society who have suggested that Obama is a Muslim. There are certainly elements in American society who think that that's a bad thing. But I would say that John McCain has aggressively and personally repudiated not only those people, but any such campaign, as, by the way, I think is only right. And by the way, Senator Obama has acknowledged that he has done that very respectfully and appropriately. I wish we could carry that respect and appropriate behavior over here as well.
Your vice presidential nominee said he was palling around with terrorists. And John McCain never repudiated his own nominee, his own partner.
William Ayers is a terrorist.
So do you support Sarah Palin's comment?
Yes,
the running mate of John McCain, that Obama was palling around with terrorists. You think that's justified?
Barack Obama began his political career in William Ayers' living room.
He did not. That is a lie. He did not. He did not. He began it in a hotel room that was rented. He did not. This is a lie. There's no facts about this at all.
Danielle Pletka.
Began it in William Ayers' living room.
He did not.
And William Ayers is, I'm sorry, responsible as a part of the Weather Underground for a campaign of terrorism in the United States that resulted in the death of Americans.
Which Obama has repudiated.
I think that's wonderful, but notwithstanding, he has associated himself with him over the years, and I think that raises questions that deserve to be answered.
Right.
If they are answered to Michael's easy satisfaction.
This is a smear, and unless you answer it, it won't be answered. He did not begin his campaign in a domestic terrorist living room.
Michael, just because you say it doesn't mean it's true.
Okay, you've made the point. You've made the point. Thank you. Did you have something else you wanted to add?
No, I think it would be nice to move away from this particular conversation.
Would you like to come back on that?
No, thank you. It's okay.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Okay, lady in the second row, you have a question.
My question is, should we not also consider that anybody that is elected as President of the United States is a heartbeat away from going out of office and their vice presidential candidate essentially holding all that power? And therefore, how should we perceive the selection of Sarah Palin for McCain's vice presidential candidate? I mean, the idea that she would in essence be the president is frightening to me, whereas Joe Biden has a long, long history. Whereas Joe Biden, has a long history, and particularly a long history dealing with the foreign policies.
Okay, let Danielle Pletka.
I think that when you try and stack up one presidential candidate against another vice presidential candidate, you have pretty much the same experience. Sarah Palin has been a governor of a state. I don't disrespect that in America. I think it's an important qualification. She was mayor of her town. I don't disrespect that. Senator Obama was a senator for a few years, and before that, he was a local representative, and before that, he was a community organizer, and I respect that a lot, too. On the other hand, Barack Obama, if elected, isn't going to be a heartbeat away from the presidency. He's going to be the President of the United States, and that's who we vote for. I'm not going to kill off John McCain tonight for you. I'm sorry. I think that each presidential candidate chooses the vice presidential candidate who they think will best represent America and do a good job.